There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hi. Hi. Oh, it's finally nice to see you. I saw a bunch of leadership students in the waiting room and I got so happy. I was just like, yay. We'll just wait a little while. I want to get started in about like a minute. Just because I know people have technical difficulties sometimes or whatnot. So,
Good afternoon, everybody.
good afternoon, Ibrahim. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just got off the phone with Khadija.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How are you feeling today too?
I'm
A
good.
beautiful Friday.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, we got some rain finally.
yes. I was happy about that. Awesome. So, I guess we can get started. All right, I'm going to actually record this session as well. So if you missed something, if you want to go back to it, you have that information available. So let us start that now. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Build Your Resume with Volunteering Experience through the International Programs and Community Engagement, also known as the IPCE Office. My name is Emily Willen. I am a graduate assistant with the IPCE Office. So thank you for joining within this hour. And I hope you find this information useful. So on that note, a little bit about our office. Some of you probably already know about our office already, but we essentially provide an outlook, a directory, support for volunteering community engagement, whether that's short term, so like a day, or a few, different opportunities here and there, or longer term, there's different programs where you do it like once a month or whatnot, for an extended period of time, and also virtual experiences. So there's a wide variety of different opportunities that you can actually benefit from doing volunteering. So and then of course, if you want to come to our website, there's a QR code, as well as our Instagram page, Lehman IPCE. I want to do a shout out. This picture is from a past one of the community engagement aspects that we had, where we did a breast cancer walk. We actually did another one this last October where we fundraised over $1,000 this particular year. So we show support for breast cancer awareness, survivors, and whatnot. So I want to open this up just more of just like, a hypothetical question of why not just get an internship? Why volunteering? You know, there's always these talks of like, oh, but I could get paid to do these things. So I just want to hear a little bit of your thoughts of why volunteering, is important versus also why not just get an internship? So if anybody would like to share. Yes, Ibrahim.
Yes, so I feel like volunteering is your way of showing that you care about the community and also in the spirit of wanting to give back, you know. Not all of us are able to, support financially or otherwise. And so volunteering is also a way of you leveraging that intention that you have of wanting to give back to, the community that you're in.
That's an amazing answer. Yes. Volunteering 100%. It paints a picture of your personal story. It shows your passions. It shows your character. Um, because essentially volunteering it's a service that you're doing for free. And so you have to be passionate about what you're doing. And this essentially actually looks really good on your resume, because it shows your personality. If you're applying for a job, if you're applying for anything, they want to know that. They want to know what kind of person they're going to be working with. So that's just one of the benefits of it. Another aspect of this is that you might not be able to get an internship unless you already have some experiences already on your plate. So there was actually a recent example of this one student. She could not get an internship that she needed, in order to get, her graduation qualifications. She needed an internship, and the Career Center actually recommended that student to come to our office because essentially it is starting from the basics of here's experience that you could build up on. And but kind of looping around, this was kind of a trick question of they're both important. But volunteering can help supplement and complement what you do learn in internships. So you want to go for internships, but you also want to have the volunteering aspect of it as well. Okay, so just a little bit of why volunteering is important. As we mentioned, it kind of shows your personality. It actually helps you develop a wide variety of different skills. When you go to college, you're basically learning hard skills, but volunteering, you also learn those soft skills. So those things that you're not really learning in your classes, like time management, leadership, um, conflict resolution, all of those things are very, very beneficial in any job. And essentially, those are transferable skills. They can be applied to any field that you go to. You gain experience in your field as well. Um, and then there's some bonus aspects of it too. It helps you network, you get to meet different people. And those are potential people that you can ask for references if they, work with you and they get to know you and whatnot. Um, and it also gives you that experience that you need, not just down on paper on your resume, but actually when you talk in interviews. So when you go to different job interviews, internship interviews, they'll sometimes ask, like, tell us a situation that happened where you needed to resolve a conflict. Having volunteer experience is just one aspect of that. You can pull that experience from. So a cool note, side fact, that 85% of jobs are filled through networking. And 70% of jobs are actually never published publicly. So the more that you're actually getting exposed just in general to different aspects, the more you're likely to get a job. So say you're going and you're volunteering, you might have somebody that you're volunteering with say, hey, I heard a job opened up at my job, oh, you're interested in computers, here you go, like apply and, I'll put in a good recommendation for you. So it gives you more opportunities to actually excel. So there are benefits also of short-term and long-term volunteering. Short-term are the ones that I mentioned where it's just like one day, maybe just when you feel like it, once a month. Hey, there's this, exhibit going on and you volunteer for that, um, versus long-term volunteering. So for short-term, you still get to explore different experiences. You get to, work at a food bank and at the same time do mentoring and whatnot. So you could gain different experiences, collect different experiences, and develop those different skills associated with those. You have more opportunities for networking. You get networking for both, but if you're really engaged in different short term here and there, you can actually network a lot, broader. And then this also shows your passion, your story. Because if it's showing that you are, it shows a wide range of your likes. Like, so for example, I'm going to show it a little later, but one thing that I'm passionate about is animals. But I also volunteer at food bank. So this actually paints a picture when potential employers see my resume, they can see like, oh, this is what she's really cares about. And then long-term volunteering, this actually mimics work. So a lot of times when you have long-term volunteering, they actually train you. So it's almost like an internship in a sort of sense without actually being called an internship because they're investing in you. Because of that, they show you're usually more supported. And then you also, hi, Karan. I see you in chat. It provides more support. So, because if they're investing in training you in your time, then they want to make sure that you actually have that foundation to actually do long-term commitments in volunteering. So a lot of this might be like the crisis text hotline, for example. They'll actually have 15 hours of training that they give you. And they do state in their application, hey, yeah, if we give you this training, there's a application process. But then they also recommend, it's not required, but they recommend that you volunteer for about a year. Just recommended 4 hours a week. And that actually shows that you have that experience. Hey, I volunteered for a year long in this and I got training. I talk a little bit more about that in the future, but it also shows commitment. If you are volunteering continuously on a year-long basis, it shows that you're invested in a cause. And not only that, it shows that you have experience in that realm as well. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. So what volunteering shows employers examples. Again, crisis text hotline. For anybody that doesn't know the crisis text hotline, you're trained to actually talk to people that are going through crises, essentially. So they train you in reflective listening, crisis management, and collaborative problem solving. So this is extremely useful pretty much in any job field that you'll be going into, but you're actually getting trained and you implement this during your volunteering service. And then I also use the food bank as an example as well for these soft skills that you get. You learn empathy, emotional intelligence, cultural competence, because you're working with different people from different backgrounds, different problem solving. So, for example, if you run out of something's expired and you have to get a shipment, how are you going to solve that? So as you come across these issues and actually solve them, these are also things that you can put on your resume. And these are skills, again, that are beneficial in any career. So volunteering service can align within your field, but it can also not be aligned in your field. So I have some examples here of like, if you are a pre-medical student in the pre-health field, nursing student, you can like volunteer with the American Red Cross. That's, a given. They work within the medical field, but you can also volunteer for POTS, which actually is right next to Lehman College. They're basically a soup kitchen for feeding people. And so some of these skills that you might get from POTS, it shows that you have that ability to communicate, that you're caring for people, that in a way, it also reflects to nutrition, which could benefit health. And then also for teaching majors, we actually have a program at Lehman College called Jumpstart. If anybody's interested in that, if you're in the teaching field, you actually want to actually volunteer. It's considered a volunteer program in the classroom setting. It's a long-term volunteering commitment, but you actually gain experience in the classroom as like a teacher assistant almost. But then things that are not really aligned with the field, there's something called iMentor, which essentially is you're mentoring students. You're paired up with high school students who are prepping to go to college, and essentially you're not teaching them those hard skills, academics and whatnot, but you're gaining a lot of those skills that you would get when you do become a teacher of, you know, active listening, being able to connect to students, work with them, and whatnot. So I have a little exercise here as well. So these are just a few of the things that I have volunteered at. And these are some of the things that I do. So as you can see, I've volunteered at the ASPCA. I was a foster parent for Tough Tales Animal Rescue. I worked in the Big Brother, Big Sister program, which essentially is student mentoring. That was actually one of my first volunteering experiences. I was an animal educator at the Bronx Zoo through the Wildlife Conservation Society. And then also things that I do now, I work in as a public service intern in New York State Senator John Liu's office. I'm community engagement graduate assistant in IPCE, office manager at student government, and also research graduate assistant here at Lehman. So just your opinion, how do you think some of my volunteering experience has contributed in my soft skills, in these transferable skills for what I actually do as a profession? Oh no, it's radio silence. I can give an example too. So for the school-based mentoring for the Big Brother and Big Sister, I was working with a lot of students and kind of just giving that extra support. Um, again, with active listening, being supportive and whatnot. And this helps me be better at my job in as a public service intern and with student government, because I get a lot of cases where I work with students and it helps me also be able to communicate, do active listening, help problem solve, be supportive and whatnot.
Sorry, can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was looking for the hand, I couldn't find it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think also it shows the interest for the community, like, and so looking at what you do now is basically community oriented very much. So that background shows that you are open to help the community. So I think there is uh, even if there are many different places where you volunteer, it shows that you are oriented in that sense to the community to help. So I think that.
amazing. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is a lot of the stuff that I do is based on public, community engagement. And so a lot of the things that I was doing or am doing in volunteering also is within that same field, that same realm. Um, and I need those same skills as well. I did see Victoria's hand raised. I don't know if it's still right.
Hi.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say another example that I see here is you're volunteering at the food pantry, and now as a research assistant for food insecurity subjects, I see a straight connection there.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Um, I hope I don't butcher your name. Busayo? I know you're a leadership
Yeah,
student. Is that how
yeah,
I pronounced your name?
yeah, you got it right.
Awesome. Thank you. Would you like to
And
go?
to add on to what the two people that you spoke to, add on to what Lordena and I think Victoria just said, and it also shows that you have skills, that you have the necessary skills, and it also shows that you're really passionate. So it's not like you're where you're working now, you did it for like the benefits, but more of this is what you want to dedicate your life to because you're really passionate and you're willing to bring a change. So that just shows. And yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Because yes, I think it does express to others that I do like to be like involved and like I am a caring person and whatnot. So thank you for saying that. I have a case study here also on President Delgado at Lehman College. He actually volunteered. He's said to us in the past publicly, he has volunteered in a hospital ER of all places. And some people might think, how does that connect with being a president of Lehman College? So these are just some of the skills, the soft skills that he gained, that he attributes to volunteering in a hospital ER with his current job. So you need active listening skills and communication. You need to be able to work under stress, have empathy, have conflict resolution, adaptability, flexibility, prioritization, leadership. And so he's able, through this experience, to actually talk about those things when he also, if he were to apply for a job. But in general, these are skills that he's gained. So how to find volunteering opportunities. So our office, you can always come to our office, which I have a slide on that too. It's actually the next slide, but you can totally find these options also on your own. So here's just some direction of how to actually find these opportunities. So you can volunteer on campus. A lot of our different offices, departments, they always are welcoming for extra hands of help. So Lehman Food Bank always needs help doing unloading, and stocking and being able to communicate with different students. The counseling center actually has really, really good volunteering opportunities. They have events, but not just for events, but you can actually volunteer in the office, and they actually use it as a teaching tool as well. So you'll actually gain some of those hard skills as well when you volunteer with them. We've had some really positive experiences with the counseling center. Career center, they tend to have a lot of big events for internship fair and the career fair, and they need help. Like any office that has big events, they need help. So if you're ever interested, you can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm open to volunteering. Please let me know how I can help. And most of the time you'll have offices just love the help. And then also the Office of Campus Life has a lot of big events. We have, as you see in my background, I also work at the Office of Campus Life, and I know for a fact that big events, they do need a lot of helping hands. So that's just another avenue that you could go for volunteering on campus. You can volunteer in the community. So there's different options within that too. You could do both in person and remote. There's tons of different flexibility with those things. And one example is City Meals on Wheels. So like for in-person, this is one charity organization, but they have both in-person and remote where you can actually help with meal preparation and deliveries with the in-person component, but then also remote, you can actually do weekly phone calls that help with reducing the elderly. They sometimes get isolated, they feel alone and whatnot, and they do provide that service as well. So you can check out actually your options. A great directory is the points of light, which is a directory nationally. And we have another exercise where we're actually going to go there. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'll share my whole screen. All right, so I'm starting from the basic Lehman website just so that you get a feel of where it might be located. So if you're on the international program site, you want to go to community engagement. And then through community engagement, there's service opportunities. And this is also a breakdown. We tend to post a lot of things on a side note in this screen that goes, you see, this is iMentor, for example, how to sign up so you could stay up to date with some volunteering opportunities, a breakdown of short-term, long-term, and virtual. But then here, this section says ready to volunteer. These are 2 directories that that you can totally utilize. And there's also volunteering opportunities listed below, some of them. But for this purpose of this workshop, we'll use the points of light because this incorporates everything. I just want to do a point out that New York City Service is a division from the mayor's office. So these are volunteer opportunities within New York City only. So you can use that as well, but Points of Light is national, and they also include a lot more diversity in what you can find. So we're here in Points of Light. You can see some of the things here already. As you see on the left sidebar, you could do remote, you could do in person, you could do all if you don't really care if it's in person or whatnot. There's ongoing, there's different events, different areas that you're interested in to fine tune it, different skills you have or want to learn. So there's a lot of flexibility with this. And then you can also put within distance. So if you put like Bronx, New York, and then you could say like, oh, within only 5 miles, you search and it'll actually take you, show you the different things. So out of curiosity, what are some of your majors, or what are some volunteering opportunities? Just like one word, like what's something that you want to be involved with?
Nutrition.
Nutrition. Okay, I like that. So nutrition. All right, so here's some volunteering for nutrition. This one's remote, and this one is in person. So this one's a food pantry. The other one is a facilitator and co-facilitator. So it breaks down a bunch of different, and it shows you, where it's located. If you're interested in this, you express interest and get their contact. And this is nationally, this is a governmental, backed by a governmental initiative, the Points of Light. So these are pretty safe volunteering opportunities. So it shows you qualifications, culinary and whatnot. So if we did maybe 20 miles, let's see then. SNAP food bank, call center, so community. So there's a bunch of different things. English as a second language instructor, I guess, could imply nutrition as well. Yeah, with education in health, housing, mental health, nutrition, and fitness. So you could get a lot of experience from these. Is anybody else interested in giving a word before we move on? I thought I heard somebody else in the background before too. I know one that Jenny Landsman, who's my supervisor in the office, she put blanket. And here's some like create or donate blankets, new baby supplies, knit or crochet baby blankets. So you could have fun with this, actually, just like finding different things. Even like
Interesting.
Huh?
That's so interesting.
I know. That's when I
Wow.
saw this, I was like, oh my God. This one's even like this one's remote, where you actually knit it and then you send it in. So I think that's pretty cool. So there's a lot of flexibility with this. Um, different
Can you share
directions.
the link? Like
Yes,
on
let me
the
do
chat?
that. I do also copy points of light. I'll send you the one directly to points of light. Right now. I do also have a reference guide that I will be providing you at the end. And then there's also some things, where it's like, click this scan this QR code to go to this place and whatnot. So I did, yeah, okay. So let me reshare my screen. And portion. Okay, so say you haven't, found anything, you need help, you need guidance, you want to just talk to somebody who, has a wide variety of knowledge on different volunteering charity organizations that are out there, you can always contact Jenny Landsman. She works in the IPCE office and she specializes in community engagement and volunteering. So if you want to make an appointment, you could go to that website, the IPCE one. You could scan the QR code and set up an appointment with her to just talk about like your interests, your passions and whatnot. If you want long-term, remote, she can be a guide. Oh no, my screen is black. No. Let me reshare. Doo-doo. Okay. Is it working now? No. Oh no. Okay, let me refresh. Does everybody else see a black screen? Just to do some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh goodness. Okay, let me reshare. Stop. I'll try to share one more time. If it doesn't work, I might ask for a volunteer to help me with this presentation. All right. It's still black. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing. Does anybody want to volunteer to help me with this? As in showing the screen.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Victoria. Don't forget to put this on your resume.
Yeah.
So, Victoria, anybody wants to, get up, get a drink. Okay, Victoria, I have made you a co-host. I'm gonna also send you the link for this PowerPoint, and we are on slide 12.
Okay, I got this, and then let me share. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
good. Let me do.
Yes,
Can
I
you still see it?
I could see it. Can everybody else see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, perfect.
Let me share on full screen.
Okay.
Share. Oh, here. Oh, I guess it doesn't work. How is it now? Can you
I
still
see
see it?
black screen.
Oh, so I think that's what was happening.
I wasn't doing black screen. I wasn't doing full screen when I was sharing it.
Okay. Okay, how is it now?
I can see it now.
Okay, nice. So I guess
Okay.
having the
Okay.
not full screen.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you. All right. So again, this is Jenny Landsman. She works in the office. If you need any additional guidance, you can make an appointment with her through the website. So yeah, next slide, please.
Oh, let me mute myself also.
Okay, so on to the resume part, the actual resume part. Intro to resumes, you need one. If you're going to school, most likely you are doing it to get a better job, to get into any specific field and whatnot. So a resume essentially showcases your qualifications, anything that you've achieved, and it's kind of just like a window into your different experiences. So the purpose of this particular workshop isn't to actually help you develop your resume, but more of just the aspect of concentrating on the volunteering aspect of how to add that to your resume. So if you do need resume help in general, I highly recommend reaching out to the Lehman Career Center. There's a little bit more information about that towards the end of how to connect with them, upcoming workshops that they have based on resumes and LinkedIn and whatnot. I highly recommend reaching out to them. And I know some of you might be graduating soon. They still help you if you're an alumni. So even after you graduate and you're done with classes, they're there for you. So highly beneficial. I really recommend them. Next slide. Thank you. So there's different ways that you can actually put volunteering specifically on your resume, though. The example to your left is if you don't have any experience quite yet, you don't have any real tangible work experience, you can put it under professional experience, because volunteering, as mentioned, especially if you do the longer term types of volunteering, can be counted as a professional experience. Just make sure when you put that, you put the name of your position plus volunteer or plus charity. That way, there's just some transparency for potential employers that this was something that you did for free, which also gives you extra like brownie points, because it's like, oh, you gained this experience for this amount of time, for free. Wow, this is great. And you did all these things. So you would do this instead of saying work experience, you would put professional experience and then list your volunteering under that with, again, your position and volunteer. The example to the right of the screen is if you do have some work experience, but you also have some community or volunteering experience. So you'll actually separate those. You'll have work experience and then also community or volunteer experience. Next slide, please. Okay, so just some basic background. Some of you who do know some resume are resume savvy. You want to put your basically what you've done in bullet points. You have the name of your title, your organization that you worked for, and then essentially what you did. So you want to actually, just avoid using any, things like responsible for, because that's a weaker term to use. You also want to avoid things like using the phrases with ing or like passive types of descriptions. You want to use action words. So these are like verbs that you've done, which there's some examples. You developed, you boosted, you coordinated, you facilitated. These are very strong descriptive words, which shows that there's an impact. And you also want to concentrate on a lot of those soft skills that you developed, because it really emphasizes that you're not just trained in something specific, but you have those things that can be transferable. At the very bottom, there's the formula of success. So you're going to use that action word and then your specific task. And then it gives it more impact if you put the result or what came about based on what you did. And so I actually have an example of that on the next page. So keeping in mind of your action word plus task plus results, here are just some examples that you could put for the crisis text line and also the food bank. Taught workshops. It's like, okay, you taught workshops. That could be, a hard skill. But if you facilitated a nutrition workshop for community members, educating over 100 participants on healthy eating habits and food preparation techniques, proving participants' knowledge and reducing food waste by 20%, that sounds really strong. So it actually, and when you have these kind of going on a sideline, by showing your results especially, it shows employers what you're actually doing for them if they hire you. So if you were capable of doing that, it's like, wow, why wouldn't I hire this person? Crisis text line, you had dedicated X amount of hours to supporting individuals in moments of crisis, providing real-time emotional support and resource referrals via text-based communication. It has your action word, your task, and your result. So if you do already have a resume, I also recommend going through it and seeing if you actually implement this on your resume, because this will actually make a very strong resume if you do these within the bullet points. LinkedIn is an amazing aspect to also have. If you don't have a LinkedIn, I highly recommend it. On a lot of resumes, they'll actually have at the top, you can put your LinkedIn address, because while your resume might be specific to the job that you're actually applying for, your LinkedIn has other additional benefits, which I'll get into that in a moment. But this is how you add volunteering to your LinkedIn account. So you go to your profile, add to your profile section. It'll be in your profile and there's like a little blue button. And then you scroll down to, add volunteering. And then you just essentially input the fields of like what organization it was, what position you had, the dates that it was. And then in the description aspect of it, you want to also put those bullet points that you had on your resume as well. Because if you have a paragraph, if people are just skimming your LinkedIn, they might be discouraged from reading all of that, which is also why you don't want to put that on your resume as well. You want those bullet points to be like, bam, this is what I did. So you also want to implement that on your LinkedIn as well. Next slide, please. So benefits. So the top part of these benefits are essentially the same as what you have in your resume. You have, your roles, the organization, the duration, the description, your contributions, the impact. But then at the bottom part, the visual experience evidence, all the way down to the skill highlights, that's something that only LinkedIn provides. And on LinkedIn, you want to add everything, all of your experiences. It's basically your portfolio to who you are as a person, not just specific to the field that you want to get into. It's discouraged to actually have anything visual in your resume. You could totally have that though in your LinkedIn. You can post pictures of your volunteering. You can have recommendations, have your volunteer colleagues, write you a recommendation, how you are, when you working with you because it is work. It's essentially free work, that you're doing when you're volunteering. You can engage in different groups on LinkedIn. You can also use specific keywords and whatnot. And it highlights the skills that you gained specifically. You can actually target those in your LinkedIn. Next slide, please. So this is brand new. It's not even really up on LinkedIn right now, because they just announced it this week or this last week. You can actually put that you're open to volunteering experiences on LinkedIn. That's how much value volunteering has when it comes to getting a job. Because if anybody knows LinkedIn, it's essentially a job using application. So when you say like, I'm open for work or I'm open for internship, they're now going to be implementing, I'm open for volunteering. So it'll be easy for volunteering opportunities to come your way through LinkedIn coming soon. So if you want more information of that, you can actually go to that QR code. Let me actually put the direct link in the box too as well, in case you're signing in with your phone, in case you want to read up on it a little bit more. Okay, so that's LinkedIn news. And next slide. Okay, so now nitty-gritty of, you want to actually write a resume, you want to fine-tune your resume, you want to find out how to make your LinkedIn account really, professional, top-notch. The Career Center has workshops every semester, and these are the ones that are actually coming up. We have November 25th from 3 to 4 p.m. and then also December 4th from 5 to 6 p.m. It's all virtual. If those don't work for you, check out next semester. And yeah, they're usually about an hour long, but they actually go into details of like how to write your resume, how to write your LinkedIn. Next slide. All right. And then also the Career Center, they give you personalized help too. So they have career counseling. So they'll meet with you one-on-one to actually discuss like how to actually write your resume or go over whatever resume you already have. There's also a resume and cover letter examples on Handshake as well. If you don't have a Handshake account, that's the second QR code. Use Navigate to talk to the career counselors, but you can use Handshake to view these resources. I'll actually go over that now. If I can, I'll share my screen. Thank you, Victoria. Let me see if I have. Ah, here it is. Just so I could show you so that you know where to locate it. That's strange. It says you're still sharing, Victoria. My Zoom is being really weird. If anything, I will. Let's see. Okay. Ah, okay, it is working. Okay, my screen. All right, one last time. Is my screen working?
Yes.
Awesome. Yay.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, I'm glad. Okay. So I have a Handshake account already. So this is essentially what pops up. There's different videos and whatnot. You want to go to, on the left-hand bar, Career Center. And this connects you with a lot of resources at the Career Center. And you actually want to go to resources within that section. And this is all just different information, workshop presentations that they've uploaded, cover letters, which they also do workshops on. But there's also here resume writing guidelines, and then also basic resume samples, biology resume sample. These are all things that are on here. You could click on them and view them. You could save it. I'm not going to save it, but actually, there was one I was able to view the other time. Essentially, this is where you go to locate these, though. Yeah, different workshop presentations. You could actually view the LinkedIn workshop presentation if you can't make it to the actual workshop. They have the PowerPoint slides up there already. Okay, I'm gonna, since I have access now. So that concludes our workshop for how to build a resume with your volunteering experiences. Here are our websites. once again, and I'm open for questions. I do see one question in the chat already of how do we sign up for upcoming virtual workshops? For the Career Center, the easiest way that I recommend is going to their link tree. They do send out, if you're not a part of the Career Center, their mailing list, which you should be. They send out a lot of correspondence, and they'll actually say, like, these are our upcoming workshops. They post everything. They're very active on social media. So I can actually walk through that right now of Instagram. And I like going through Instagram just because career. So they are Lehman Careers. So this is their Instagram. And I'll put their thing in the chat too. So they actually have different info sessions on different opportunities, you know, career or internship wise. I highly recommend following them. As I mentioned, they're very active, but they'll also post their workshops. And this is where I actually pulled their resume workshop from here. So say, being more specific to answering your question though, of how to sign up for it, you go to their link tree. And here they actually have their different, you know, mastering the arts of interview. They have the different things, and you can actually apply also through Handshake or Navigate to actually apply for their different workshops. Does everybody here have a Handshake account, by the way?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Okay, good. I see a yes. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. All right. All right. Does anybody have any other questions with volunteering or resume in general? There was one thing I actually wanted to highlight too, which I didn't. There's a really cool program, a volunteering program. Let me pull it up. It's actually right next to Lehman College, called Sunrise on Wheels. It's at Montefiore Hospital. And essentially, put that in the chat too. This is a great example. Let me share my screen actually again. Okay, I think it's working. Okay, so, and this one, again, I found through Points of Light. So they're actually located in Montefiore Hospital, which is like right next to Lehman College. And this one, they actually train you. And they would like it if you volunteer 2 times a month throughout the year. And essentially you get experience being in the hospital waiting rooms for hematology and oncology for children who are waiting, and they might be scared, and they might be, you know, just anxious. And so you're actually trained to engage with them, talk with them, which helps lift and brighten their mood and things like that. You learn different arts and crafts, you get different supplies that you can actually implement. And so this right here, for example, is a great opportunity for people that are going into any healthcare type of field, but also like teaching, if you want to be more like specific to any to a field specifically. But again, this gives you transferable skills to any field. So Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so like have fun exploring the different directories, explore, and take advantage of these volunteering opportunities because they really are there to help not just better the community, but better yourselves in developing. It's kind of like a circle. It helps everybody. So yeah. All right. On that note, if nobody has any other further questions, I have a resource guide that I said I'd give y'all. Let me put that in the chat for everybody. And then in addition to that, I will be sending this video recording to everybody as well. So that that has registered, that is in attendance and whatnot. So that you can refer back to it and whatnot. And again, we're in the community engagement office, so if you have any questions, we're there for you. So yeah. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. You're welcome. This is very, very amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye, you too.